You're listening to The Giant Leap with me, Andrew Muller, and I'm joined now by the President of Armenia, Armen Sarkisian. Mr. President, welcome to The Giant Leap.
Well, thank you.
What's your connection to Starmus? Why was this an important event for you to come to?
First of all, I was not very far. No, that's not the real reason. I know Garik for many years. To be honest, I don't remember, was he my student or we were just classmates at that university. This is my first profession. I'm a theoretical physicist. I was doing research I was professor of theoretical physics and mathematics, both back in Soviet Union and Armenia later, and doing research and teaching at Cambridge University until I became a diplomat representing my country abroad. So, theoretical physics, astrophysics, the theory of gravitation is my passion, my first love. So it was obvious that Starmus, which is a very successful festival, I think someone that represents values of 21st century. Because the way I see 21st century, it's a completely new century in a sense, the way many things will be done. Even I wrote several papers now, a book is coming out about the quantum behavior of global risks and basics of quantum politics. Because if you look what's happening in the world, there are mergers or synergies in all different sectors. Even the one that I'm in now in politics, entertainment, politics, high-tech, new technology, they are very much interconnected these days. So you see politicians who are being successful because they are great entertainers, and many great politicians today are also great entertainers themselves. Because people are interconnected, interlinked, and generally interconnected, interactive entertainment is a big part of modern life. That means people like not only watching Games of Thrones, but would like to have a Games of Thrones, and that game will be much more popular than the film itself because people like it interactive. Real life entertainment, which is the real politics now, has the elements of the game.
So has it been your experience that it's been possible to apply elements of what you learned in your backgrounds in physics to your current job in politics?
Yeah, definitely. And it's not only as an applied subject or something that I'm applying in my real life, or looking at events and possible solutions and the pressures that I am under as a politician from the point of view or from the view of someone that understands that this world is acting or behaving completely differently than even 30 years ago. But it has also a very important academic value for me, because basically it proves real life proves my theory that a lot of things in our life you can explain understanding the behavior of interconnected non-living bodies like elementary particles or galaxies, and the knowledge that we have in mathematics of this behavior could be applied to social behavior or politics.
So do you think underpinning social behaviour certainly, and maybe the way that populations respond to politicians, at the heart of it, do you think there always is something rational?
Well, there is rational, but that rational is not classical. It's it's quantum, and that's why Summit of Minds looks to me non-rational from the point of view of classics, but it's absolutely rational from the point of view of quantum. And Garik was telling it yesterday himself that when he starts the star moves, he doesn't know how it's going to end up. So there is a principle of uncertainty that is applied in quantum mechanics, and it's applied to star moves as well. But combining serious science, I mean great science, you have around 10, 12 Nobel Prize winners here. They are all serious people. They will never waste their time going somewhere. These are people that have devoted their lives to a very specific subject, starting from, let's say, mathematics or theoretical physics, gravitation, astronomy, astrophysics, to human behavior, I mean human body, biology, chemistry, and so on. These people are coming to this festival. Why? Because that's the new world. And you can explain things. The most simple explanation for that, I can give you an example. Some 30, 40 years ago, I was doing research on relativistic astrophysics and doing sort of a complex modeling of a neutron star that Professor Thorne was speaking yesterday from the podium. These are absolutely strange objects, because imagine an object that has it's a size of 10 kilometers only, but the mass of the sun, where the temperatures are hundreds of millions of degrees of centigrade, but it's absolutely cold, and the matter inside is behaving super fluid.
That is a whole bunch of paradoxes.
See, but there's no paradox at all. There is logic, which is not classical, it's quantum, and it's absolutely logical. So when I was doing the modeling, I needed to also use some computers, but 40 years ago, the computer is the most powerful personal computer was a computer that had a hard disk of 10 kilobytes. You are smiling now, you are laughing, but that was the reality. Today you can have that model in real time and you can show even to public, and it looks beautiful, like it was done yesterday. The second point, which is very important, that is making science again popular. When I was a young person, I was excited with the idea of a man flying to space, be that Yuri Gagarin.
So 1961, you would have been 7 or 8 years old?
Yeah, and I was really excited with the whole idea of someone flying into the space. Then we had the Leonov, then we had mission to moon. All of that makes you very excited, very interested in science and space.
Was that the beginning of your own interest in science? The Russian Soviet space
also
program?
Armenia was a very advanced republic of former Soviet Union, where the Soviet Union, had invested a lot of money in science and research. It's a small republic that had electron positron accelerator, had the Burekan Observatory, research centers on plasma physics, on condensed matter physics, and so on. So being a scientist was very attractive. You go to many countries, even developing countries especially, you ask children whom they would like to, what is the profession they would like to have, and the answer will be, would like to be a programmer, because a programmer makes money. Being a programmer is fashionable in India, in China, even in Armenia. But the future is not programming. The future is mathematical modeling complex systems, i.e. big data management, i.e. artificial intelligence. So in order to have young talent being excited with that, rather than being excited of becoming something else or someone else, I think you have to create an excitement. And what a better way of making young generation excited rather than a festival, when you have great musicians, artists who are in love with science, greatest scientists who are in love with art, and great astronauts have been both incarnation or they are the ones that are ambassadors of science in the outer space, because they were flying on machines that were created by great scientists and technologies. They were doing scientific research, including taking heavy mirrors to the moon in order to have an experiment using lasers from the Earth to the moon and backwards, in order to check was the theory of relativity right or not. If they would ask me, I would say, don't bother, it's true. Don't spend your money. But astronauts were a part of that. They're a part of this project, so they are engaged with science. But also, we are human. We cannot live without art and artistic perspective of the world, because when I can imagine, it's a dream for me to fly to space, because I would like to look at the stars, because they are different from space than from here.
You wanted to be a cosmonaut when you were a kid?
Oh yes, I still want. I have a plan. When I retire as a president, I want to fly. Will I be cosmonaut, or I will be astronaut, or I will be Armenian Astraganat. Doesn't matter, I want to fly. I hope it will be Astraganat, so I'll be the Armenian astronaut.
But just a final question then, when you're talking about getting people excited about science and interested in science, especially younger generations, do you think that a space program of any sort can still have the effect that the Soviet space program did for kids like you growing up in the Soviet Union, or the Apollo program did for the United States? I know there was, last year I think the Armenian flag was taken up aboard the International Space Station, which I know got a lot of press in Armenia, but can it have the same kind of transformative effect again, or do we need to start sending people to Mars?
Let's not limit ourselves with flying to space. Flying to space, astronomy, astrophysics, and all of that is just a small part of general science and technology. So children or the general public would be excited with many other things. Many things related to our own body, the way we understand. Look how advanced we are now. We do amazing things in the health sector. I think things that could not been imagined, let's say 30 years ago, and the advance will be even more phenomenal. The moment we have artificial intelligence helping us to understand further DNA and its behavior and fix our own universe, which is inside our body, up to our brain. Because all of this exists not only materially outside, but it exists also in our thoughts, in our imagination, in our minds, in our brain. So there is another huge universe which is unlimitless inside us. So it's not only flying to the space, it's not only sending someone to the moon or to the Mars, it's also great discoveries in biology, artificial intelligence that will excite children. And not only children, it excites me. Well, I truly believe that you live as long as you discover, you live as long as you learn, you live as long as you create. The moment you stop doing all these three, you die. So that's what I truly believe in. And I think making children excited, you have to show them the excitement of and combining. Imagine you are in a spacecraft outside and you look at the sun. When the sun, what we see is a yellow, bright circle. The sun in reality is a phenomenal body. And you look at the earth. I mean, artistically, it's a phenomenon, it's a painting. I mean, combining both science and scientific research, like you saw yesterday, doing mathematical modeling of the birth of a black hole or the merger of two black holes. It's just a mathematical model, but it has an artistic value as well. It's beautiful. So as you can combine entertainment and politics and new technology, you can combine definitely rock music with science and travel to space.